Well, my name is Brian Baird, and I'm here speaking to you today because of my 40-year career in ocean and coastal management. Again, as a kid, I moved to the ocean when I was 10 years old. I was just always intrigued with the ocean. So it's just been so great to have a career where I was able to try to keep this ocean healthy and keep this ocean thriving. And what's so incredible is it's not only good for the environment and for our enjoyment, but it's really good for the economy. Kind of an overview that I started at the California Coastal Commission. I worked for the energy staff, and later on I was the legislative liaison for the California Coastal Commission. Following that, I took a position as Assistant Secretary for Ocean and Coastal Planning for the California Natural Resources Agency, where I wrote action plans, comprehensive ocean strategies for Governor Wilson and for Governor Schwarzenegger. And then most recently, I was the director of the Ocean and Coastal Program for the Bay Institute. At the age of 10 or 11, we moved to Corona del Mar, California. I started surfing. I was in the water all the time. My friends had sailboats, and we snorkeled and just did all sorts of stuff in the water. So I've had a lifelong love of the ocean. So when I was at UC Santa Barbara, I was studying classical guitar in Los Angeles, but I was also in the environmental studies department there. What kind of launched my career is that I did my thesis on the importation of liquefied natural gas. That was the beginning in California of a statewide study of liquefied natural gas terminals and types of terminals. This was a state legislation that we were implementing. I did go on to become the head of the coastal power plant siting project here at the Coastal Commission. And I'm very proud of the work that we did, which is just basically identifying areas that were too sensitive for coastal power plants to be sited. That work today still protects those areas, which is very exciting to me. And then I did the very first assessment of oil spill cleanup capability that was ever done for the whole California coast. And we used that at the Coastal Commission to set up standards for oil spill containment and cleanup. I had a unique experience. I started here as a staff member at the California Coastal Commission, while I ended up being a commissioner on the commission representing the Natural Resources Agency. Going to the national level, I was fortunate enough throughout my entire time at the Natural Resources Agency with Governor Wilson, Governor Davis, Governor Schwarzenegger, and for a while with Governor Brown. I was their representative at the Coastal States Organization, which is an organization of 35 coastal states, territories, and commonwealths that try to work together to protect the nation's coasts. After a certain amount of time there, I was elected vice chair of the organization, and then ultimately I was chair of the National Coastal States Organization. It was a lot of fun. I was able to put forth some national agendas on issues with the Coastal Zone Management Act, our beginnings of our work with climate change, a lot of our work with plastics and non-point source pollution. I was in a position to really help bring all 35 coastal states, territories, and commonwealths together to try to make a difference. Now moving to my most recent work that I've been involved with, I was the director of the Coast and Ocean Program at the Bay Institute here in San Francisco. Basically, the Bay Institute traditionally worked on the Delta and the Bay. I brought the ocean into the picture, into their mission, which is from the Sierra Nevada to the sea. The point I want to drive home is I started out like so many people wanting to get into this field. I had no idea how expansive it was going to become. And it really was because of my personal commitment, how much I care about this work, and the fact that you just work hard. If you work hard and spend those late night hours and do your homework, you can make amazing things happen. So I'm glad and so happy that this lifelong thing that started when I was 6.5 years old has allowed me to fulfill my quest to sort of protect all of these things.